There you go, man. We had a
Oh,
little bit of difficulty. We back.
we had a little snafu. Yeah,
Yeah, we had a
technical
little bit of
difficulties.
snafu,
We
but it's
back.
okay.
Okay.
I had to let people know I don't
Okay.
look, I don't own the rights to that video. I ain't trying to get a copyright a copyright issue coming with this page. So, but go ahead and finish
Yeah.
what you were saying.
Yeah, but no, basically, yeah, it was obviously it was a coordinated attack, and now what's happening now is that now that the full breadth of what happened is here for everybody to see with this commission. Now we're starting to see that there were people who were in Congress and everybody and high officials were all involved.
Yeah,
And now they're trying to change the narrative. They're trying to whitewash it as like what we saw wasn't really what we saw.
yeah. So yeah, it's
And now they're trying to say that left wing.
yeah,
Well, Antifa did it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
so
if we remember I'm sorry, remember President Trump's in his first debate, he told the Proud Boys to stand down and stand by.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I guess they had their marching orders that day,
yep,
so they stood by.
yep,
So yeah, so when you have all these right wing, armed, violent, neo-Nazi groups and all these things of that nature, and they're supporting you, and they're armed, and they're planting bombs in places and things of that nature. You can't go back and say, well, uh, it didn't happen. It's not a big deal.
yeah,
I mean, these people were. You can't like the QAnon folks. You can't court these people or open up these crazies who are out in the fringes, tending to their business, whatever they were doing. You can't give these people legitimacy, use them for your purpose, and now try to throw them back
correct.
because now they're in politics. Yeah, so yeah, so this is definitely something that needs to be. I hope they get more information. I
Yeah.
hope some people
Well,
need to go to jail.
there is a lot of information coming out, and I'm gonna this book
Mhm.
just recently came out. It's called Betrayal, written by Jonathan Call, and it kind of outlines some of the things that happened that day.
Mhm.
And so this is an interesting dynamic that I just really found out about. Um, so when Vice President Pence decided that he wasn't going to uh, that he was going to follow the Constitution and follow his ceremonial duties, um, there was only one more thing left to do, and that was to interrupt the count. And
Yeah.
so while all this is going on, I don't know if you all remember, the Constitution says that the actual votes, the electoral votes, are sealed, and they have to be original copies. Okay, and
Yeah.
it just so happens that a one of the aides, while they were evacuating, they grabbed the boxes. They grabbed the boxes that had all of the sealed envelopes, the original copies. Congress doesn't have a copy. They grabbed those, and so some of the video that we see, there are rioters uh, specifically asking where are the votes, where are they counting the votes. Somebody knew that. They knew it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so what would have
Yeah.
happened,
Yeah.
and this is something that we find out, what would have happened had the originals been taken, it would have had to go back to the state legislators to draft up another copy. Can you imagine what would have happened? I mean, can
Oh
you
my
imagine the
goodness.
chaos that would have happened?
Look, what we're finding out, James Clyburn, he's from South Carolina. I think that he's the majority whip
Yeah.
from South Carolina, Mr.
Hmm.
Clyburn. Um, in an interview right after the riots, he said that people were, specifically calling for his office, right?
Yeah.
And he has two offices, right? He has a main office and another office is kind of back up in the. He says you have to kind of know the capital
Yeah.
to know where his second office is, where his
Hmm.
staffers and everything is. He said people were specifically going to that office.
Yeah.
So it is obvious that you had congressmen, congresswomen
Mm-hmm.
who were advising, telling these people where to go. Because if you've been on a field trip to the Capitol, it's
Yeah.
a massive place.
Yeah.
It's I mean, yeah, Capitol Mayor. I mean, it is huge. It's like a big old maze.
Yeah.
These people were able to go to places. It had should be walkie talkies and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So it was obviously coordinated.
Yeah.
Look, and let's not discount some of the police that were sympathizers with him. We can't forget that too. Now,
Well, a lot of those police have been charged.
some, yeah, they were okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this thing is, and I think what you want to hit on is that I really don't think people appreciate how close we came to utter chaos
Correct.
and disaster.
Correct.
Now, one thing about the founding fathers, when I teach about the founding fathers, I'm not one to oh, they were bad people because they were slaves. No, no, I appreciate their brilliance because they put these safeguards in for a reason.
Well,
Because
I
they
think the
put
two multiple things
yeah,
can be true at the same time.
yeah, sure, that's true. Yeah. Oh yeah. They owned slaves, they were wealthy, they were elitists, and and they want to put a system in place that will bend but don't break.
Correct.
But the problem is that um, relatively in the history of the world, the United States is basically instantly 200 years old. We have civilizations of thousands of years old.
Mhm.
So we're still really in our infancy. And there are still dynamics in place that could cause this thing to crumble.
Correct.
One thing that causes civilizations and things to crumble is when people start losing faith in the institutions.
Correct.
And this is really the first time. Well, I know it's happened a few times, but on this magnitude, that a figure actually caused this many people to lose total faith in the institutions. They lose faith in it because they're ignorant of how the process works. And so that's one of those things that we really have to get under control, or this thing can easily fall apart.
Well, the AP has been conducting a what do you call it, a an investigation. I'm actually gonna put the link in the comments. But the AP
Yeah.
conducted a an investigation, and they went to all of the states that former President Trump alleged had widespread fraud, and they actually found they found 431 instances of abnormalities, and some of them, interesting enough, were Republicans.
I don't, it look, look. The biggest voter fraud thing where they were harvesting ballots and all that crazy stuff in North Carolina. Remember that district down by Lumberton, I think,
Yep.
in North Carolina. We had a specialist. It was exactly it was Republicans. So those are just facts. But please, the problem is, AP is probably one of the best. AP, NPR, BBC. These are pretty much excellent sources of information. But the problem is, what you just said is factual. What you just said is logical, but you got to take into account that you have a lot of people out here who are in Fox world, who are in Breitbart world, who are in Daily Caller world. So they're on a whole nother universe. So you got a lot of people who, what we're talking about now, they
Yeah.
think it's false and fake because they get information from places that are disingenuous.
But this is the issue though.
Yeah.
Why is it,
Yeah.
or when when the word voter fraud comes up, why is it automatically associated with the Democratic Party?
Well, you know why? Because you have to give Republicans, uh, and like I said, I don't have no dog in the game, but you have to give Republicans credit. You know why?
Why?
Because their messaging, they're excellent. Look, I think you ever seen this TV show called The Wire? The Wire. I watched it
Oh
for the
yeah.
first time. Yeah, remember Slim Charles?
I remember Slim Charles.
Yeah, remember that famous thing he was talking to D'Angelo? I mean, one of the Barksdale, and they found out that they was fighting over some nonsense, and it wasn't really what they were fighting for. And Slim Charles said, "It don't matter if it's a lie.
Yeah,
You fight on the lie.
you fight on that line. Yeah,
You fight on the lie." The Republicans, or no, or people in power, have decided they're going to fight on the lie, and guess what? Fighting on that lie works.
yep.
Um, because people, unfortunately, are believing some crazy stuff, whether it's CRT, all the culture issues, and especially about the election.
Hmm.
You can look even in Georgia. They were, even in Georgia with the Secretary of State, who is a Republican,
Hmm.
you know, his life was threatened because he did the right thing.
Hmm.
So when you tell people, like Slim Charles said, when you got people who are fighting on that lie,
Hmm.
and that's what happens. Hey, cousin. That's cousin Shantae, our cousin Shantae. Hey,
Hey, Shantae, how
Shantae.
you doing? Good to see you. Good to hear from you.
Yeah.
I just posted the link to that study by the AP. If you have a chance to look at it, very 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 telling. Look, no one is disputing the fact that with any organization, with any process,
Yeah.
there is fraud in everything. No one is disputing that. But
Yeah, of course.
I mean, so we know that. But I don't know. A lot of the same people, a lot of the same congressmen, senators that were talking about the election was stolen. Their names were on the same ballot. You know,
Yeah.
it,
Exactly.
and then
But here's
go ahead. Let me just make one more point.
no.
And
Yeah,
then
go ahead. Yeah.
and then also when you look at the elections, the Republican Party had a pretty good night overall.
It did.
When you
Yeah.
look at the state legislators that were flipped, when you look at the House contests that were flipped Republican, they had a good night. No doubt about it. If I'm
What we saw.
if I'm a part of a conspiracy, you would think. Well, anyway, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right. But what
Right.
happened was even in North Carolina, what happened was Republicans in a lot of places
Hmm.
voted for every Republican on the ballot
Yep.
except for Trump,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's what happened. Republicans voted for every Republican because, you know, traditional Republicans, or whatever you want to call it, they see Trump they saw him as an existential threat. So um, they voted against him.
Yeah.
But you got another thing. There's a reason why they did the stop the steal and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Because what happened was, when I say you fight, like Slim Charles said, you fight on that lie.
Hmm.
Because then what did they do? They start using that lie to draft legislation to now.
Yeah.
So now in Georgia, now what they're doing now, they're taking the power to control elections out of the local authorities.
Hmm.
Now the state legislature, so they can now they can steal an election.
Yeah.
Or if they see where what happened with those votes in DeKalb County, wherever that bought the Biden over,
Hmm.
they can close the polls. They can say no more votes and
Yeah.
all these type of things because they know these elections are close. So they use that lie as a catalyst to draft legislation um, to make it harder to vote or to control the vote.
Yeah.
Or if God forbid, if Trump runs again, or he does run again, and this same scenario happens, some of these state legislatures can really make it kind of interesting.
Well, not really, because all Vice President Kamala Harris. I mean, according to the Republicans, she has the authority to decide who's going to be the president.
Oh, really?
If you use the same logic, I mean, everybody's saying that Vice President Pence had the sole authority to say, I don't trust these electors, so they don't count. I mean, using that logic, when the president election comes, the vice president, who is currently Kamala Harris, she has the sole authority to say what she likes and what she doesn't like.
Well, depends on what you read, man. If you read the Constitution, you might say that, but if you read Breitbart and listen to Fox, you might think that Trump or some of those other crazy people out there, and I hate to say crazy, but I don't know what to say. People who think Trump is going to be reinstated, they don't think she's the vice president, so
Well,
she don't got
yeah,
the authority to do it. I mean, look, it baffles me and it's stunning that I'm actually here, actually seeing that we're in a day and time where you have people who legitimately believe this.
yeah,
So it's funny and it's not. And like I say, when if you look at the history of the world, if you look at any great empire, the Roman Empire, any empire that has fallen or not succeeded or fractured from within, there were several things that came into play. One thing is that when people lost faith in institutions, one thing was the gap between the haves and the have-nots, and all those things. And those things kind of come together to make these things fall apart. But we really need to uh, get some grown-ups in the room or something uh, to really get the right information out there as far as how this process works and stop letting these people think uh, that the government is fractured or these institutions don't work. But what's happened is that people like those women in the Congo, I forgot her name, the one who made those comments about the Muslims, whatever. Um,
yeah. Laura
and the
Barber,
other ones,
Barber, Barber. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. One thing about her, she's a prolific money raiser, right? So the message that she puts out there resonates with people. So, oh Laura,
yeah.
oh sorry, man, Tracy, Tracy, is that the lady from
New York.
Is that the lady from? Is New York or is it Virginia?
I thought it was New
Is
York.
she the New York? Okay, yeah, okay, okay, yeah. One my bad. Okay, but yeah, yeah, but yeah, these people know that if they say certain things and they can raise money off of it, that's fine. But the cost is that you putting that out there, and those people out there that believe that nonsense. Yeah, New York. You're right, Aunt. New York. Yeah. Oh, she's
She's
running
the
running
attorney
for governor
general.
or something. Is it?
Oh
Attorney
no,
General. Oh yeah.
she's the attorney for the Southern District in New York.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I got you. That's
Why
the
I
one
know
that.
that I
Okay,
don't
I know
know,
you're talking
but
about.
anyway,
Okay, yeah. but nevertheless, yeah. But yeah. So those people, like those congressmen who actually um, might get raised money off of spreading those lies and disinformation, keep people riled up. That needs to be brought into control. But as long as they make money off of it, as long as they're getting votes and things of that nature, they have no motivation to stop
yeah. I
it.
but just so you know, just in case my Republican friends and acquaintances out there, just know that when you're donating money to the Republican National Committee, they just decided today that they're going to. Speaking of New York, they're
Yeah.
going to. They decided that they're going to pay $1.6 million of Donald Trump's lawsuits that's taking place in New York right now. One point
Hold on,
six
hold on,
million.
hold on, hold on,
So the Republican
hold on,
National
hold on. Hold on.
Committee is currently paying former President Donald Trump's legal bills. I just thought I'd throw that out there for you. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This is something that I was thinking about. I read this really good article over the weekend, and it talked about the it talks about the evangelicals, okay,
Okay.
and it talks about how much of what basically the support that they showed Donald Trump was it more based on religion or was it more based on culture? And I just thought it was a really interesting article. If I can find it, I'll post it again. But if anything that this has showed, it has showed the hypocrisy of the evangelical pastors.
Well,
Eh,
look,
yeah,
do we say we gonna go in?
we going in. Go ahead, man.
Go
We
to
going in. Yeah, we going in.
see, evangelicals see a lot of these. I can't speak for all of them. I can't speak for all of them. But there are a lot of evangelicals that use their religion as a filter for their bigotry and racism.
Correct.
Um, Donald Trump spoke to that xenophobic, low key, dog whistle bigoted thing. And let's talk about these evangelicals. See, a lot of these southern denominations. Let's get to the foundation. You know, you build a house on a foundation, right?
Correct.
When when a tornado come and blow the house away, the foundation gonna stay, right? So a lot of these the Southern Methodists, Southern Baptists, you know, these denominations came into existence over slavery. In the 1850s, go look it up. It was the General Baptist Convention. All these people, when they came, when the northern people wanted, when they wanted to condemn slavery, the Southern Methodists, the Southern denominations, all these other Southern, they say no. So they started their own denomination. So the foundation of your denomination is based on wanting to preserve slavery. This is let's go to the 60s. Remember the Civil Rights Movement? The Civil Rights Movement was what? A church movement. Black Martin Luther King, Robert Abernathy, Shuttlesworth, these were all reverends. But opposition to the Civil Rights Movement, to integration, it was also a church movement, right? The Christian Knights of the Klan, they recruited in churches, right? So why am I saying all this? If the foundation is there, now time may have changed. You just can't do crazy stuff like you used to. You know, they used to have lynchings on Sundays because people had to get out of church,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so now these same denominations whose foundation is built on this type of racism, you got somebody like Donald Trump who can speak to those things. A lot of the support comes from that.
Yeah.
Now they can say they're against globalism or they're against socialism and all that. I say no. In the South, you know, these are some of the poorest places in the country, in Mississippi, Kentucky. Y'all get more socialism than anybody else, so it can't be socialism.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
speaking of
you
Kentucky,
can't ignore that fact.
yeah.
You
Speaking
can't
of
ignore that
Kentucky,
fact. You can't ignore that fact. Yeah.
uh, our hearts go out to the folks that was affected by the tornadoes. I mean, it's just really a tragic situation. Tragic.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I remember when those other disasters happened, and Rand Paul was up there up there at the Senate floor, holding up
Yeah, aid to
aid
Puerto
to those
Rico.
other states,
Yeah,
Puerto Rico, because he said we can't uh, socialism and all this stuff like
yeah.
that. Um, Now that it's happened to his home state, unfortunately, he's not singing that same tune.
No.
But that's neither here nor there. Our prayers go out to him. But yeah, you're right. The evangelicals, they need those pastors who are up there speaking that vitriol from the pulpit. I don't know what Bible they're reading, but yeah, they do share some blame because we talk about people with religious beliefs and people, especially in the South, they take their religion, they take it seriously, um,
But one of the things
whether it's misguided or not.
when you look at some of the videos, I mean, I watched a lot of video um of the riot, whatever you want to call it, but a lot of those folks said they were doing God's work. I mean,
Yeah,
you
okay.
hear mention
Yeah.
of God throughout the um God and country.
Yeah, God, yeah, they should say that God doesn't believe in integration.
Yeah,
This is not the first time that the name of God or God has been misused for ends, for devilish. God has been misused for devilish ends. Um, that's
but
why Trump, a lot
these
of these
folks
white,
really believe this. You can't change a
yeah,
mindset. I mean, they really believe this.
I know, and look, and here's the thing, and Trump, who is not a Christian, he and other people, Steve Bannon, they understand these people believe this, and they take advantage of that.
Well, Junior,
Yeah,
the former
yeah,
president did say his favorite Bible verse was 2 Corinthians.
yeah,
he,
man,
he
and
did pose with a
yeah,
Bible in in front of the church where they cleared out the protesters off of Lafayette Square. So he did pose with the Bible. You remember? Yeah,
Yeah, I remember after he tear gassed and beat peaceful demonstrators. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make light of it, man, but this country uh, has some serious issues, man, and like I said, if we don't get it under control, um, this thing could easily unravel.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, so that was wrong, man. You should have.
And look, we say we're gonna go there, man. Look, man, I it's
Yeah,
look. I'm gonna be honest
yeah,
with you. It is very hard. It was very
yeah.
hard having conversation with some of my with people and who identify as Christian, and they just I just don't see how I don't know. I just don't see how you support. I just don't see how you can support them. I mean, I just I can't make sense of it. Um,
But we're here. Like I said, man, it's like these are the same people that Obama's a Muslim, you
yeah,
know, and things of that nature. So I don't think, um, like I said, religion has been a tool um, that they take advantage of people's beliefs or misbeliefs, a lot of misbeliefs, and they capitalize off of it.
yeah.
And these evangelicals, they go vote and they vote in droves, and they're voting for these type of things.
And we're not
But
talking about
it's
all. We're talking about most.
no, of course not.
We're talking about
Yeah,
all. We're talking about
most,
most.
no, yeah,
Yeah,
most, yeah, but look, especially in the Midwest, especially in the South. Well, like I said earlier, look it up. If you don't believe me, the foundation of a lot of these churches were built on keeping slavery intact. So that threat of racism and that xenophobia and things of that nature has always been in these southern churches. And why would I expect anything different? I mean, yeah. So, and Trump and them, they took advantage of it.
yeah.
And
But one of the
so,
things that
it is what it is.
we know that what's happening now is that phone records are being subpoenaed. There are folks
Yeah.
who are directly in the inner circle. They're trying to sue so that their phone records
Yeah.
won't be be submitted to the select committee. Hey, look, this isn't over. That's all I'm going to say.
Listen,
We this
I,
isn't
look,
this is not over. This is not over.
yeah.
Um,
And look, and it won't be the last time we do this because I
yeah,
mean, look at the phone. Look at what's already been released.
yeah,
You had Don Jr. You had Sean Hannity. You had Laura Ingraham
yeah,
calling, trying to tell President Trump, please stop, call it
yeah.
off. This is going off the rails. Uh, they trying to change the narrative now. But yeah, so all this is they know how serious it was.
Correct.
But like I said, unfortunately, there is a part of the Republican base, uh, Trump's base. I won't say Republican base. I don't think people are Republicans. I think they're apolitical. But I think there's a fraction that he controls the mob, and he understands that these fanatics will do or are liable to do anything. So when you control those type of people, then of course you can bully or scare people in the house, whatever, into doing things they would normally do under normal circumstances.
Well, this is what I'll say. They are there's a guy that I follow on Twitter, and so what he does, he basically um, looks at all the voter data in some of the swing states. And so what we're starting to realize now is that both folks who identify as Republican and folks that identify as Democrat, um, they are losing. Well, I won't say they're losing. Um, the data says that more people now identify as independents, independents and
Yeah,
non-affiliated voters.
yeah. I think I think that that's the route now because personally, I think that uh, this uh, this country, 300 million people, this country is far too diverse for two political parties.
Correct.
That's just a fact. I mean, you can't. It's just it's just some countries have 3, 4 political parties.
Yeah.
So for two political parties to um, dominate, it just not going to work. So yeah, most people are independent because they're tired of what they see with Democrats. They're tired of what they see with Republicans. They said they're going to, like we said before they're going to sit back and say, okay, look at person individually and see if they support my interest. So if a guy is a Republican and he does something on a local level that supports my interest, I can vote for him.
Yeah.
If a Democrat does something, yeah, that's what people are saying. They're not going to tie themselves down to one party.
Wendy, I don't. What happens when Trump launches his social media? Wendy, I got to be honest with you. Um, so if Donald Trump's social media company. So right now, it was estimated that um, 1.6 billion in investments that he has right now for his social media company. 1.6 billion. And also, if you're familiar with Devin Nunes is a congressman out of California.
California.
California,
Yeah.
yep. He used to be when the Republicans were in party, he was he was the chairman of the intelligence committee. Okay, so he decided that he was going to be the CEO of Donald Trump's new social media company. But right now, his social media company is under investigation. Well, I won't say his social media company, but the what's the it's called DWAC. I don't know the DWAC is the investors. That's what the symbol is. But right now they don't offer any products. They offer no products. They have 1.6 billion dollars in capital that's been raised by anonymous investors. You don't have to report it, but it's under investigation right now. But as of right now, there's no they have no infrastructure in place that says that this is a social media company.
It might be another money making scheme for him, man.
It is. So
Yeah,
interestingly enough,
I think you're.
the stock of DWAC, and this happened probably a few months ago. Once he launched it, this is very interesting because I would actually say that I actually made a little bit of money off this. Look, I made a little bit of money because look, it went from it jumped from $50 to $145 over the span of a day. Once he decided to officially launch this company, or once they decided that they were going to be the ones that was going to that was going to support it. Hey, what do you say? Hey, what's up, Mike? What's up, Caraway? Big money controls. Hey, so interesting enough that you say this. One of the biggest cases was called Citizens United.
Citizens United.
Yep,
That changed the game.
that changed the
Citizens
game.
United
Yep,
changed the game. Corporations are people too. Yep,
yep.
that changed the game, and that's when all this dark money. That's when it really changed the game. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're not familiar with the case Citizens United, look it up. It's a very interesting story, but basically you can receive money from anonymous sources.
yeah. What's that book? I always look when my history students always speak from the book of Wu Tang, Cream, uh,
Yeah,
cashews, everything around me.
yeah,
My history
yeah,
tell me cream. They know
yeah.
what that means.
All right.
So
Well, I'm about to watch me some football. It's supposed to be a good game tonight, so I'm definitely gonna
who playing? Who
check out
playing?
some football. But look, it's been a pleasure. Like I say, me and my brother, when we decided to do this, just to give you a recap, people may not know, we've been trying to the conversations that we're having online right now. These are the conversations that me and my
Yeah,
brother have all the time, and so we just decided that
yeah.
we were just going to open it up and just have some dialogue about it. Yeah, but
Well, yeah,
I definitely appreciate all the people that have supported us. It's been nice. We've got a lot of feedback, a lot of texts, a lot of messages.
yeah.
So look,
Oh yeah.
we look. This is just beginning. This is just the beginning. You got anything to say, Junior?
No, man. Just we appreciate it. Like I said, man. This is when we started talking about this about a year and a half or so ago, just trying to get it together and just say we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. I mean, we didn't think we'll be here, you
Yeah.
know, actually doing it. And like I said, I really appreciate the feedback and what everybody is saying. Um, like I said, we grew up this way. You know, we've been in political junkies conversation. We just had to be to share it with people now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's see. Somebody got keep it going. Important dialogue. I'm glad. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Wendy. We definitely appreciate it. So
Yeah.
with that being said, everybody, we hope you all have a enjoy the time with your family
Yeah.
over the next few weeks. Get a chance to refresh, and we wish everybody the best. We wish that like you set goals and all the goals that you have coming into the new year, that you're able to accomplish those. So with that being said, I am signing off.
All right.